Hello, welcome back to the most inconsistent channel on YouTube. If you're new here, welcome to the most inconsistent channel on YouTube. Today, I'm going to be giving some tender love and care to this thing. This is a Game Boy I bought that was brokey on eBay, clearly. So today, we're going to be working on trying to repair this Game Boy because I have a friend named Cole, pictured here, who he's been in a couple videos, the Wayfair sketch from like 3 years back or 2 years back, whatever that was, and the most recent thing I think he's been in was that Worms live stream, or Worms, yeah, it was a live stream. It was a Worms live stream highlight thing that I cut up and whatever, with the bad Joker impressions, that one. So Cole wants a modded Game Boy, and I was just going to repair this and try to sell it as a regular Game Boy, but I figure, hey, why not try to take this Game Boy and buy the skills? You want them? I got them. Why not take this regular Game Boy, try to fix it up, and then this will become his modded Game Boy. So this will be a two-part series, in theory, as long as I can get this working, where I'm going to repair this in one video, and then in the next video, I'm going to mod it. And then after that, I'll maybe to film me giving it to him. Probably not, though, because it's just going to be like, hey, here's a gift, and then a candid reaction for, I'm not doing that, but maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Cole, he pictured here, by the next time that we see you, you should have a nice, great, good, hopefully good modded Game Boy, and then you can lay me down and spread my, let's get into the repair. So we're going to jump down to the iPhone camera that's here, and 3, 2, 1. I'm sure that sounds terrible. Now, as you can see, we still have garbage here. So we're just gonna hit stop recording on the main thing. Fine, whatever. As you can see, we still have garbage here, so let's just get that, get rid of that. Got these are for later. Actually, POV, you are me. Oh. But this should be relatively enough space to work with. Now, I have never filmed a repair video before, but I have over here just a cheap, I don't really want to move the camera from this one dedicated location, so, but I have over here kind of just a cheapo soldering iron. It's not on yet, but it works. I've used it to repair a couple things. I've turned it on now. It is on. It is heating up now. Heating up to what? I don't know what temperature I'm going to need to be. So basically, as you can see, the mouse pad, I cleaned it since last video. It's nice and vibrant now. So what are the issues with this Game Boy? What isn't there? There used to be a screen here. Here is an image of the original eBay listing, where it said it was broken. I only have the picture of the front of it. I'll try to find more, but either way, here's what was wrong with it, right? Screen didn't turn on. I think that's all it said. And I was like, interesting. Wonder why that is. Maybe a faulty cable, maybe whatever. So if you look here, you got your negative and your positive things. Over here, you don't. And in fact, what you have is you're missing this spring should be here. You're missing that. And you have this, but if you look real close now, you can see some nice, oh, my fingernail looks terrible. You can see some nice blue, some nice green in there from corrosion. And that's kind of where the main fear of this comes from. I smelled something burning. It's just the soldering iron, I hope. Yeah, I think so. So far, nothing's on fire. So, our mission here is we have to put in new battery component reader thingies, these things. Never done that before, so that'll be interesting. I have to then test the screen, make sure it can read the batteries, and you're like, hey, Trent, you don't have a screen. Joke's on you, I forgot to bring it in here, but you'll see it later. I have another Game Boy that is just the shell with a perfectly usable screen on it because I took the components of that Game Boy and put it in that modded Game Boy you saw in the PSP video. So I still have the shell with the screen, so I'm literally just going to pop everything in that and just see if the screen turns on. It's getting toasty in here. I knew it would. The soldering iron was going to do that, and I knew that was going to happen. I don't even know why I came in here with a sweatshirt. Our apartment's cold. So, let's begin. So to do so, we're going to use I'm going to use, this is for later. This is what I'm going to use for my flux. If you see other people do Game Boy stuff, they have like a syringe of liquid flux. I don't have that. I have just this so I've used it multiple times on multiple things, and it's worked fine. So I'm gonna just go under the assumption that it's fine. So I believe they're a size 2 tri-wing, but I could be wrong. This is gonna be the hardest part, is trying to keep everything in camera. Also, I'm going to kind of use this as a tester. Leave in the comments how you want these videos to go. Do you like my big meaty mitts right in front of the camera so you can't see anything? I hope you do, because I can't really do too much about that. Just because where the camera's placed. But yeah, if you want, like, the full thing kind of unedited, let me know. Oh yeah, and then there's a flat head, or a Phillips head. If you want the whole thing kind of unedited, just so you can kind of see, like, what's going on, or probably for this video what I'm going to do is speed most of this up. I don't think I'll cut away for anything. And this is going to probably be a far less, like, jokey video. This is, you're just going to watch me work. But you know what? Cole, pictured here, Cole was the one that brought up modding a Game Boy to me. And he was the one who, and we'll just remove the back like that, and I'm just going to tap it to drop the screws out. But Cole was the one who wanted a modded Game Boy, and he was also the one who said that he wanted a video of it. So, if you don't like this video, blame him, pictured here, Cole. Blame him. Blame my good buddy Cole. Alright? It's all his fault. This is a video for him and no one else. Alright? Well, glad we got that figured out. Now that we're in, as you can see, this... And now, Trent editing. You're going to probably have to switch to the iPhone mic, because I'm going to have to get real close to this, and this mic's just going to be in the way. Alright. So... Okay, well, I don't know why it stopped recording, but we've jumped a little bit. So I took this board out. It's just those two screws. I put the screws that were inside the board into this shell, and I talked a little bit about the membranes, because the membranes... Where is the old membrane? There it is. These membranes are a little, you know, thumbnail is disgusting, a little awful, so I got new ones. Not really the same color, but they're close enough. Plus, for the mod that's going in it later, we have different membranes. These are just kind of for the tester. So, and then these I would assume get used at another time. But we also have a new speaker if we need it. Now, I don't know why it included like an end to clip in, because this literally just gets soldered. Like, yeah, I don't know. The back of this is not promising, so I kind of expect this to just not work. But we'll see. Anyway, right down here, you'll see these are our solder joints, and I'm gonna flip this around so I don't accidentally melt the plastic there. Also, I don't want to solder on a mouse pad, because if you don't know, soldering gets hot, and I don't want to melt the mouse pad. So these are our solder points. These are what we're going to desolder, so these come loose, so I can put the new ones in. This here is a solder sucker. It, quite honestly, just sucks air. You just press a button, and it just sucks air through it. And you just do that by pressing this, and let's go. So when the solder gets loose, I'm just going to come in here and just there's the button. I'm just going to come in here and just snap the solder away. Oh god, here we go. All right, anybody who might be watching and is like an actual solder artist, I'll say, I apologize for the heinous crimes you're going to see here. So I don't have the fancy syringe flux that I've seen other people use. I just have a paste, and the paste works fine. So what flux does, more or less, is it helps the solder that's already there heat up. And I probably put too much on, but it's okay. It's fine. You know, it's all good. It's not. This is going to be a mess, but it's fine. It's good. That just helps the solder that's already there heat up so it can come off. And I'm going to take the soldering iron, and it's well, there's quite frankly no way out of this now, so here we go. I'm gonna go for this one first. Oh yeah, there's the smoke. See, this will be interesting too, because I don't really necessarily know how these are jointed in. So, oop, we got a ball of solder. We got a ball of solder. Get in there. Cool. But yeah, that's like just sucking up some of the dry solder. And I'll come in here with some Q-tips and rubbing alcohol. And I just spit a bunch of dry solder out on my mouse pad. Let's go. But yeah, so that's... So let me pop this back into the stand. Let's see if I can't just pull this out now. Wow, that's hot. Who would have guessed? Hey, heat's hot. Can I zoom in any further? I want to... No. Okay, let me bring it up. Now, which is this? This is where the spring should go. No, it's not. This is the positive. This is the positive receiver. Okay. Oh, it's marked. BT minus, BT positive. Okay, cool. See, a professional, such as myself, would know this, and clearly I do. So, I'm going to... No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna throw a little bit more flux on, but honestly, I've made such a mess already, I'm not gonna bother. Let me get in there again. It is taking the solder. I mean, the amount of dried solder that I keep spitting out on my mouse pad from this thing is kind of embarrassing, but it's fine. Something you may not know about solder, too, is it stinks. It definitely smells like metal. And you can't really, like, take the soldering iron off and then try to suck the solder out, because the solder solidifies like immediately. Like it's so quick. But I want to see, give me some tweezers. I want to see if I can't just pop this boy out, push on it a bit, because then once it's out I can clean the hole up a little better. Not yet. Okay, and this is where speeding it up, I think, is going to be a better option, because this is a very slow and time-consuming and tedious process. There's like a specific sound that soldering makes too, like a squeaking or creaking noise. Oh, I forgot to wet the sponge. There's a sponge you're supposed to dip the tip into, like every time you use it, just because it helps to keep the tip clean. You know, ladies, you gotta have a clean tip. I'm a little at a loss here, because I kind of just... I was really hoping this would just be like a, desolder it and it just pops right out kind of deal, but I wonder if they bent the pins. They're gonna bend these pins. I do think that they bent them a little bit. Obviously, just keep people like me out of it, because yeah, I mean, you can see it. It's there. They have like a little bit of a curve to them. I think there's solder in that one still. You making any movements, sir? No. Wow, Nintendo. Obviously, I can't really be like disappointed that this isn't working as well as I intended, because obviously Nintendo didn't and still doesn't expect you to do this. But woo! That's just some flux burning out. But that's hopefully that will help get any more solder that's still here. Yeah, you can see there's some solder on the tip of this that's getting stuck. Alright, yeah, I'd say that's pretty clean. Like, that's a pretty clean contact there. I feel like it should just pop out. Obviously I don't want to push like too hard on the board. I don't want to break it, but I mean, you'd be surprised. These boards can kind of put up a good fight, and they can take a lot sometimes. Other times we're not that lucky, but you know, we're going for the sometimes here. I'm gonna try to go with an under maneuver. We're making, I'm sorry, none of this is in camera. We're making some progress here. I'm able to peel it up from the board now, so whether that's like the metal weakening because of the heat or it's actually working has yet to be seen, but hold on, I'm gonna go at it from this angle. I feel like the tip is loose, but like I can't really... Woo! Yep, that was stupid. Why'd I do that? Oh my god. Well, the tip was loose a little bit, but I just burnt the shit on my fingers. It's fine. It was only, what, 350 degrees Celsius, 325? Something like that. It's fine. I'll live. Maybe. Or maybe not, and this video just won't come out. It's fine. because this was the way. There's that squeak I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is some solder yet. Because my good old buddy old palo friendo Cole is such a good old buddy old palo friendo, he paid me to make this mod, and a way to save him money was me being like, oh, I have a Game Boy that I was going to fix up and just, you know, try to sell as a regular Game Boy. So if I can get that working, this can be yours. But now if I can't get this working, fortunately I'll have to go out and try to find another Game Boy. And I still have no idea if, like, this is the main... Obviously this is a big reason, there's no spring here. I still don't know if there's anything else wrong with it. Like, this is like the main thing. This shit does not want to budge. Oh my god. Wow. Now, Nintendo, why don't you want normal people like me to get into your consoles and just start ruining things? I don't understand. All right, let me grab. I'm gonna take a hot minute, like a hot 5 minutes. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more research on this, and I'm gonna come back. I was gonna get the sponge for the soldering iron. I'll show you the case that this is gonna sit in to test it if I get this part out. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we have returned. Okay, I didn't mean to bash my chair against the camera. This is not a great, amazing setup, if you would believe. So I gotta be very careful. So I've got a couple little plans here. So number one, here is the Game Boy to prove that I have just the shell with the screen, and you know everything's fine. These are great. I cleaned these out. These components are awesome, so they'll work great. And then all I have to do is just plop this into there, plug the screen into there, and we can see if it works. So that'll come eventually. Now, my plan here is I was looking for pliers for these to try to bend. I found wire cutters. Now, I don't know how good these are at snipping metal, especially like 25-year-old metal, but I think we're gonna find out. So, and if I don't snip it, then maybe I can still just use them to bend it. So that's what we're gonna go for. This is our new plan. So if this is out of focus, I apologize. Yeah, it's not gonna snip it, but it is bending them, so that's awesome. That's more than what the tweezers were doing. Oh my god, it's not even in camera. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I don't normally record when I repair things, and this is also like a first for me, so I definitely was not planning on recording this since it's a first. Like, if I was going to record myself repairing anything, it was going to be something I was confident that I could repair. But this, you know, this not so much. Weirdly enough, this one I'm not super confident on. I still don't want to slide out of there, so let's see now with them bent. And I did get a sponge now for the soldering iron to kind of like rub the tip off. This does cool the tip down, but it does clean it up quite a bit. So that's good. But it cools it down, but because it's a soldering iron, it heats right back up pretty quick. So I can't wait for soldering iron enthusiasts and people who do that shit for a living who are like, "You're a fucking idiot, what are you talking about?" Listen, I'm not going to claim to be an expert at this. I'm just kind of, you know, this is just kind of my thing. I'm trying it out. We're going to see how it goes. Obviously, shit's probably not going to work out. That smells awesome. The way that it should, but it's okay. Bend it and break it. Oh, I snipped through some of it. Alright, hold on. Okay, well, we snipped some of it out. Was I supposed to do that? Probably not, but, you know, I don't really know what else we can do at the moment. So, you know, if we can just kind of snip the big parts that are holding it in, I might just be able to pull it out from the other side. We're kind of just creating a hazard over here, but, you know, it's okay. I couldn't tell you where that flew to. Holy shit, that went flying. Alright, I'm gonna hide behind my phone. I have my eyes back here. Okay. Oh, yeah, that went everywhere. Okay. So as you can see, it's completely snipped off. And this either is going to work or I just everything. Yeah. So we know. We know it's never good when Editor Trent shows up. It didn't work. I was able to get the contacts out. I will show footage over as I'm talking about this, but I was able to get the contacts out. I was able to put the new ones in. But more or less, all this is just to try to push the battery onto the contacts. I threw it in the new case. Realized the screen. There's two models of Game Boy Advance, apparently, and I did not know this. There is a 40 pin and a 32 pin ribbon cable connection for the screen. So basically the cable that connects to the screen to the motherboard itself, it will either have 40 or 32 pins. The Game Boy that I was working on had 32 pins. The Game Boy I was going to, or the screen that I was going to put onto the Game Boy was 40. There's a 40 pin or a 32 pin? Why? Why would there be? Yeah, this is a 32. It literally says it right on the board. Well, then even the modded Game Boy's not going to work. What the why would there be? So that was already issue number 1. Issue number 2 was after I put the new contacts in, I messed with them for a good hour, honestly, because I wanted to make sure they were seated perfectly on there. They didn't work. Alright, fellas. We want to see a light come on. I could probably end my life right now. Maybe the battery was loose. Hold on, let's just see, guys. Hold on. God damn it. I tried taking the thing apart again, messing with them again, putting it back together. Didn't turn on, and you might be saying, hey Trent, there's no screen on the Game Boy, how can you even tell if it turns on? There's a little LED indicator that tells you the power's on. It's a green light if the batteries are full, and then once the batteries start to drain, it'll be a red light. I didn't get a single light. There was nothing. So I'm just skipping this part because it's going to be boring and very uninteresting to watch. Currently, right now, as I'm editing this, I'm in the process of finding another Game Boy or figuring out maybe what's wrong with this one. The only other thing I can think of is with the battery contacts, I got a little dime bag of the capacitors, so I could maybe try and figure out which capacitor goes where and try to seat these onto the motherboard, but at this point the thing's dead in the water. It still can be used for parts. I can still use the buttons for something else. I can still use... That's about it. I could use the case if you really want to beat up gray case without a back cover. I could do that, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So from this point on, will be a jump cut to where I have a working Game Boy, so this video can have a good ending. As of right now, I'm recording this and editing this June 11th. I do not have that yet. Still working on trying to find one for a decent price because eBay and Mercari and OfferUp even, all of them have terrible prices, so I've been going around weekends on for yard sales and flea markets to try to find something. My goal is still to get this thing done by June, like the whole mod, not the videos. I don't know when those will get done, but yeah, that's where we're at currently. I didn't want the slow decline of this video to be noticeable, even though it is. I feel like I was very enthusiastic in the beginning, and then as, you know, it got a little harder, and I think it became a little bit more clear to me that it was not going as planned, I started to just kind of get like, oh man, oh no, like about everything. So, Cole, here, it's coming. Let me cook. Your Game Boy is coming. I promise you. That's where we're at currently. But yeah, in theory, here is new footage of new Game Boy that we're going to use in the mod. So, yeah. Anyway, hi. Hello, hi, whoa, I'm back. It's been a bit. For you, it's been, like a month since my last video, maybe a little more. For me, this has been a hell. This has been an ongoing nightmare. So as you saw in the first part, we had a Game Boy. We sure had a Game Boy that was just broken beyond belief, and I'm not in frame at all. Hold on. Okay, we had a Game Boy. Broken just beyond belief, apparently. Bought new speakers, new membranes, new capacitors, everything. Dude was fried. So Cole, the lovely, gorgeous hunk of a man, Cole, graciously donated his own personal Game Boy to this saga. He said he would do this to begin with, and I opted for him not to, so that way he could still have like his childhood Game Boy in case he ever wanted to go back to it. But I would assume, just like me, he also got impatient in waiting for me to not fuck up and find a Game Boy at a decent price. So he came through, and we're going to treat this with extra delicate care now, since this is his childhood Game Boy that still works. Now, he did tell me that there were a couple issues. Mainly, the thing he told me was the volume wheel was kind of crunchy. Like, it would just get stuck. I don't know. I don't feel it, but either way, we're going to get that shit figured out, because now what we're going to do to bring this kind of in a full circle happy end is we're just going to open this up, and we're just going to clean it. And then, like I said, the next video will be the full modding process. But this, we're just going to clean it. We're going to give it a nice bath. All right? Sorry, there's still like an image on the screen. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. There's a bunch of burn-in from the screen yet. I don't know if that's even noticeable. I don't know, whatever. But it's okay, because you're getting a new screen, so it's fine. So we're going to take it apart, and we're going to give it the VIP treatment, if you will. So I'm going to get my state-of-the-art camera set up. State-of-the-art. All right, I'll see you down here. Hello and welcome. Oh, my microphone. Hello and welcome to my desk. Here is the Game Boy. Here's a better angle of it working. Isn't that something? Now here's the screen burning I was talking about. Yeah, look at that. That's funny. We'll give this game a nice clean for you too, buddy. We'll get that too. I won't do that on video, but I'll be sure to do that. I'll be sure to do that separately. So here we go. We're going to go Game Boy cleanup. I mean, the case itself, I'm not really too worried about cleaning. I just want to clean up the circuit boards, the membranes, the conductors on said motherboard, and we'll get there. Now, let me just open up my very quiet toolkit. I'm just gonna get in there, give her a nice, what the fuck? Cole, your Game Boy's fucked. No, that's working. I'm going to be careful with it. Doesn't matter. Okay, there's two screw replacers that came out. See if this just pops right off, or if I gotta loosen up a couple screws. I gotta loosen a couple screws. Fuck me in my boy bowl. Alright! Now these should just fall right out. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 6. Come on out. There we go. 6. Can't lie to you. It's looking pretty okay. Outside, you know, whatever, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, now that we're in the inside, we're going to zoom in a little bit. So you use the 32-pin connector. That is something that may or may not delay this. I haven't looked at the screen to see what pin connector or converter it uses. We might need to get a different size one for this, but these buttons just pop right out. These buttons. Oh, it doesn't matter. You got new buttons. I don't give a shit. We're literally here just to clean the board. So, I was oh, Cole! There's a tiny screw here and a tiny screw over there. After loosening those, and taking a pair of very, very fine tweezers and just kind of popping that up, and going ambidextrous for this, popping that up. This should... You can also kind of do it with your fingernails a little bit if you really want to do that. I like to do it with the tweezers just so I know I'm in there correctly, but then I don't want to use the sharp. I don't want to use the sharp tweezers for that just in case I rip it. But then this would just come pulling right out, and then we can pop this right off. And so this is good. This is what we want to see. This, not so much. This just means that these are a little bit more stuck on there. But, I mean, they're still good. Like, I mean, I got new membranes, so I'm not too concerned about reusing these. However, if I can reuse the Nintendo membranes, I will. Because they're just better than the generic ones. Because, obviously, they're not made with cheap components for aftermarket sale. They are made with what this was originally made for. Here's all we're going to do to clean it. This is... not too surprisingly, because I know Cole is not a gross, disgusting human being. This is a pretty clean board, all things considered. Like, even behind the speaker isn't even like rusty or anything. Like, this is a very clean board. So, good job on that one, Cole. All we're gonna do to clean this is we're gonna be very, very Walmart brand conscious in here. We got our Equate 91% isopropyl alcohol, and we've got our Equate cotton swabs, 500 of these fuckers. Just got these today for this video. I mean, obviously for other things afterwards as well that I need cleaned, but for this video, brand new, never before seen. All I'm going to do, coat the Q-tip in a generous amount. Focusing on the fucking Q-tip. Coat the Q-tip in a generous amount of rubbing alcohol. And the main thing I'm going to rub on is the conductors here, because all this is like the rubber. The rubber from these buttons basically breaks a circuit, and that's how they know you're pressing up, down, left, right, A or B, start and select, L and R. All these are doing is sending a constant stream of electricity, a constant circuit, and pushing a membrane down interrupts that current, thus telling the game what button you're pressing. All around not too dirty. Cole, your Game Boy is not going to make interesting content, you fuck. Why were you not dirty? So these are the start and select membranes down, or start and select conductors down here. Once again, not fucking dirty at all, asshole. These ones, however, since the membrane was stuck to it, I'm hoping for a different story. So we're just gonna rub with some light pressure. You don't want to push too hard, but you want to also have some pressure on it. Fucking nothing, Cole. Be more dirty. We're gonna clean off your speaker. Ah, there's some crust. You spilled some Coke on the speaker, I see. One last wipe over. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, there's some dirt. Fucking finally. These feel good. Like, these are your L and R switches, obviously. I'm not too concerned about... Because normally when they're dirty, you'll take off the rubber here and, like, just straight up drip rubbing alcohol in there. Put this back in and just kind of fucking mash it, and that would help it. But these feel good. More or less, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a bunch of rubbing alcohol and just dab it here and just have it run down, and that should be enough. Surprisingly really clean. I mean, again, not surprising. Cole, you're not a dirty person, so it doesn't surprise me at all. And then I'm just going to... Done. Yeah, I guess I can just kind of rub pins of the where the ribbon cable connects. The capacitors look good. None of them are swelled. So here's something that's going to look totally fucking dangerous and not correct. And it probably, you know, I can't imagine Nintendo would be like, yes, do this. So if you feel like your on and off switch is like stuck, you literally, I just look like dirt on the camera. You literally can just drip a fuck ton of rubbing alcohol in there, which is all I'm doing. I coated the Q-tip in it, so now I'm just dripping it in there. And then you just keep going like this, and that legitimately will just break up any dirt and debris in there, and it will just come falling out. So, simple as that. For your volume wheel, since I know he said something about feeling crunch, it doesn't feel bad at all. But I know he said it had like an issue, or it would have issues, or at least he insinuated there'd be issues where you turn it up and it would just kind of be like, it like would kind of turn up and it wouldn't turn up. Here's what you do for that. So I'm gonna coat the Q-tip in even more rubbing alcohol, like way more. I'm gonna fucking spill it on my pants probably. Yep, there it is. Looks like I pissed myself. Thanks. And we're just going to cover this and just drip it in there, spin it, drip it in there, spin it, drip it in there, spin it, and just keep spinning, dripping every so often. And immediately that feels 10 times better. This is just like the power switch, eliminating any dirt, any dust, any grime, anything that got in there, and it's just breaking it up and making it easier to come out of. That's it. Here, I'll get the back of the speaker too. Why not? Fucking nothing on there. Dog, your Game Boy is like the cleanest one I've ever seen. Oh, we got a spec. As for the cartridge slot, probably one of the easiest things you can do with that is take a game. So I'm not going to use his yellow. I'm going to use a Game Boy game I don't care too much about. Like this. I'm going to use this. Bart Simpson Escape from Camp Deadly. This game's a classic. It's shit. And so the Game Boy game would go in there like this, right? That's how it goes in. So all we're going to do is this is kind of a 2-for-1 deal. We're going to clean both the game and the cartridge slot in one go. So here goes the game. Just a fuck ton of rubbing alcohol in there. First off, we can see how dirty this game is. Oh, not very. I'm proud of that. Alright, cool. So that's there. And now with it coated in rubbing alcohol, we are just going to inject it, eject it, eject it, insert, eject it. Oh, yeah! And now, if we take that very same Q-tip that we used to clean it, you may see some debris. Done. Your cartridge slot is clean now. Yep. And now I've got a dirty copy of Bart Simpson's Escape from Camp Deadly, you son of a bitch. And I just use a game I don't care too much about. Not really because I don't think this damages anything, but just in the off chance that it would, it's not too big of a loss if it's Bart Simpson's Escape from Camp Deadly. So we're just gonna do it a couple more times. We'll check it. I want to just make sure it's not like super dirty still. Yep, that's tolerable enough. Yeah, okay. I'd say that's a fucking clean Game Boy right there. Now, as for the membranes, oh shit. The membranes are going to be a different story. I'm not going to worry about the buttons. We have new buttons. I don't care. We're going to use the membranes, however. And these, oh yeah, they're a little crusty. So we're going to move the circuit board out of the way. This is where for obvious reasons, this is like where the most grime and dirt would build up, because these are the main things that like a gross, disgusting, sloppy child would be touching. For example, you want to make sure these membranes are as clean as they can possibly get, because these, like we went through with the circuit board, are responsible for breaking that circuit and making it so that connection is made and, you know, your game knows what you're pressing. So you want to make sure these membranes, these little black rubber pads, are as clean as they possibly can be, because if they're not, you will not be able to make a connection. Right? Okay. Glad we're on the same page. The start and select buttons are a pain in the ass. Now with the same Q-tip, I'm just going to go in here and clean up some of this grossness. I feel like a lot of this is going to get sped up, so we'll just kind of, for some instances, I'll probably just shut up and clean. Alright, now we're going to flip her over to the back side, and I just like to kind of give it a general clean first run through before focusing and tackling the little membranes. But now, just kind of nice gentle circles. Don't want to go too crazy on these because, I mean, this is 20-year-old hardware, so the potential to rip the membranes is fairly high. Speaking from experience, have I used this side? No, going in. Potential to just tear through these is higher than I'd like. And you'll see that we got some nice, delicious flavoring on that Q-tip. So we're going to go back in, and we're going to run through it all one more time. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, you're just scraping the black paint off of these. That might be true, but honestly, there's more dirt on there than there is like the black paint or whatever that's on there, so it's not even... A lot of it just turns black because of the use and just blending into the color of the membrane itself. So it's not like you're washing away... Okay, so it's not like with you doing this, you're washing away like accuracy. Like you're not gonna... That one seems really bad. Like you're not going to get this to the point where it's so clean it doesn't work, right? Like, if stuff is still coming up, it's still just dirt. When it gets to the point, like with the start and select button you saw, there was still some coming up, but not a whole lot. I kind of just give up there. I'm just like, yeah, it's good enough now. Yeah, like this. Like, they're starting to get clean now. So it's to the point where I could probably stop, because it's not nearly as pronounced. If that makes sense, like it's not nearly as dark. Like, for example, that second to last one looked like it got pretty dark, but I'm pretty sure if I go in again, it's, yeah, not nearly. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good clean. I mean, obviously, there's still, like, some on it, but there's just some you're not going to get off. The last membranes. And I remember getting into this room because there's a vent for AC in this closet that I record in for some reason. And I remember getting into this room and being like, man, it's fucking cold in here. Now that my computer's been running and I've been recording for 28 minutes, I'm like, fuck, it's so hot in here. It is. I'm just, like, sweating. A and B buttons. They'll pick up quite a bit. Actually, the A and B button membranes are not that bad. The D-pad definitely was the worst, and that's usually what I see, is the membranes on the D-pad are like significantly dirtier than the A and B button. Honestly, they're good. Like, as they are fine. So, that's it. I could clean off the buttons, but we got new buttons, and I could take this out and clean off the screen, but what's the point? So, I'm going to reassemble it, just for, you know, safekeeping and all that good stuff, just to keep it all in one place, and then we'll get the modding done very soon. I know I said last time that I was still waiting on components to come, and that is still true. The EverDrive has taken its sweet-ass time to get here. I think they were kind of out of stock, so I kind of had to put an order in on, like, back order, or whatever. So as soon as one's available, it'll be coming, and I'm hoping it's going to be coming this month. So, circuit board goes on like this. Just pop that right on. I kind of like to try to line up the extension port. And then I know, like, oh, hey, it's in the right spot. Except this one's just not cooperating. Oh, the speaker is also a huge issue. I can never get the fucking speaker to pop in correctly. There we go. There we go, see? And now all we'll do, take this ribbon cable, kind of bend it back. Oh, shit. Bend it back with my thumb a little bit. And try to do this so it's viewable on camera. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of push it. Oh, the pins came down. Where are my tweezers? I'm going to lift these back up again. I'll lift the clips back up, and then we should just be able to, yep, just slides right in. And then we can use the tweezers to pinch and pinch. That's not going anywhere. Now, the tiny screws. There's that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to clean these buttons. So this is the L button, so that goes over here. Yeah, that feels alright. And then this is the OR button. It goes over here. We got these fucking things. These little plastic brackets that go... Oops. These will go right here. One there. And this one's got this nudge. Nice and clean. It's got that nudge because that's where you can put a lanyard if you want for whatever reason. Your on and off switch, which is this, which we didn't clean because I'm pretty sure the kit I have comes with a new one. If it doesn't, I'll clean it and throw it on there. But that'll just go right there. And you want to make sure that these little arms are gripping the actual on-off switch there. And there's that. And then the back plate will just slide on. The back plate will just slide on right. I like to try to angle it with these battery components, or these battery terminals. And that'll just go on just like that. I like to kind of go diagonal. That way one side doesn't get completely locked down first. So we'll put one in there. And then because we did like the top right corner, I'll do the bottom left corner. And vice versa. I don't think it matters. But just in my head, I don't want to put in all the screws for, like, say, this side, and then this side's kind of, like, more elevated because it's just all locked down here, and then that causes, like, stretching or something. I don't know if that's a thing. I just feel like it could be, and if I feel like it could be, I'm going to try to avoid it because I don't want it to be a thing. Even if it's not a thing, I don't want to make it a thing. So that goes here. It's a really fucking annoying angle, and I hate it, and it's stupid and dumb, and Nintendo should feel bad. With my shaky hands, it's really bad. Gotta get an extra hand on there for some support, and then there we go. And in it is. And then we get to pop the batteries in, which, don't worry, Cole, you will have a rechargeable battery by the time I'm fucking done with this. Then we pop that in there, and it's a continuously working Game Boy. Just to make sure we didn't fuck up the cartridge slot. Well, that's a bad sign. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, you know what? We still have the rubbing alcohol. Let's clean Godzilla. Domination? God, domination. Oh, yeah! And yeah, there we go. See? False alarm. No worries. Oh, let's check that volume wheel. All of our buttons feel okay. Hello, lady. Oh yeah, we're doing story. We're here for the story. Fuck the monster. Is there any more than Godzilla? King Ghidorah? Rodan? Rage attacks? Alright, so A and B work. Left, right, down, up work. Fuck you, Rodan. Oh. I don't know what select does, so we can't see if that works, but yeah. I don't know if these do anything. Oh. That jumps. L blocks. Okay. Yeah, everything works. So, cool. Sometime this month, you will have a modded Game Boy that can play Godzilla Domination in beautiful HD quality in the palm of your hands. Anyway, I'm going to swap back to the regular camera to do the outro. Bye! Alright, welcome back. I want to thank you for watching. Sorry, if this video really felt like it didn't have a point, it's because it had a point. It did. At one point, it had a point. And then it just all fell to the wayside. You can really watch in the first part of this video my enthusiasm and happiness just die. This is a job that I'm doing, so it's not like I could just be like, oh, fuck, it didn't work. I guess I'll just give up on it for a couple months. So it was a job I had to do. But the problem was the job kept getting more stressful and stressful, not due to Cole at all. all due to my dumbassery and cheapness, because I just didn't want to spend $70 on a fucking Game Boy, and I was hoping I'd get lucky and find one, and I never did. I went to the flea market every Saturday. I checked eBay, Mercari, even AliExpress. I don't trust things from AliExpress, but everything I could not find one that was below like $70. And when I did, it was gone. Normally it was sold already. So this was a nightmare. But it's finally all coming to an end. All that said, Cole, next time I see you, this will be a whole new ball game for you, and that'll be. I hope you enjoy it. But until then, thank you for watching the first part of this. Once this video is up, I'm hoping within 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have the second part up, and we'll have this done, and Cole will have it, and he'll be great and having a hoot and a holler. But until then, I thank you for watching. I'm sorry this video was a fucking nightmare to watch. Probably a roller coaster of emotions. I know it was for me. But thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.